So how do y'all scout the barbershops too? Like, is this like something y'all, like, do y'all look at like areas that might be in need of like a program like this? Or is it kind of just like, yo, if it's a barbershop available, then we want to work with y'all? How do y'all do that?
I think we're pretty open to any participants right now. I think barbershops all around are just like community spaces, right? So, you know, whether or not there's a need, there is a need, right? Like kids are spending a lot of time there.
Right.
So it doesn't hurt to have one.
And I think it'll take them away from the quote unquote barbershop talk, because you know that's where we gossip. That's where the men go gossip.
That's
so
what I've heard. That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
That was one thing we talked about too. Like it changes the energy a little bit. Like then they're not so immersed in this grown man talk.
Right. That's what I was just about to say.
Right.
Now you could take like kind of divide the room a little bit. Now it's like, okay, y'all over here cursing and talking about sports. Let the kids be in their own space reading and right. So any favorite books? Is there anything y'all came across that y'all would recommend for kids? Let's start with the younger ones. Let's start with the young and then the old as far as
the most relevant book that we have is Ode to the Fresh Cut. It's called Crown Ode to the Fresh Cut, and it's all about like that experience of going to the barbershop, getting your hair cut. Oh. Yeah, so that's one of our favorite. Well, my personal favorite.
My favorite book is Those Shoes. It's basically, it follows a boy and he really wants these shoes and he just calls them Those Shoes. And his grandmother's like, well, you need winter boots. You want these shoes. Yeah. And so they go on this whole trying to find these shoes. And they go to like a thrift store and he finds a pair of these shoes and they're a size too small. But he uses his own money and buys the shoes and he's squishing his foot into the shoe. And it's really touching because there's a little boy who lives down the street from him who you can tell that his family doesn't have as much, right, or they just have less. And his shoes kind of fall apart during recess one day. And it's an interesting narrative because the boy is just like, I'm not going to do it. And then he ends up giving him his shoes. And I read it with my fifth graders every year because in March I do a March Madness book bracket.
And like you break it down from like.
I have.
So where you at now? You had a championship yet?
Well, so I do it against the other fifth grade class, and they're a little bit behind. But my book, Jabari Jumps, is my final book for my class. So it'll go against the champion of the other class.
What's their book?
I haven't heard yet. They're a little bit behind us.
So your class is competing with another fifth grade class?
Yes.
Oh, that's dope. So where do y'all what is the overall thing that y'all see like? What is the end goal? Do y'all have an end goal, or is y'all kind of just like enjoying the journey? Because I know a lot of people like you get to stressing once you start thinking about like maybe like what is successful? How can is this successful? Or where do I gotta get to like claim it or title it successful? So how do y'all view that as far as like the organization becoming successful, or do y'all feel like just starting it was the success?
I think, well, our next endeavor is literacy pop-ups, so like events. So We've got one planned for April 23rd at Absolute Health and Wellness. A little plug there. And we're having a dodgeball tournament, arena play. Yeah, so, that's like our next venture, to mesh the two worlds and just like keep this literacy stuff going. But end goal, I mean, I feel like the sky's the limit.
Right.
Yeah.
Eventually, y'all want to see yourself in other states.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
Right. Like people adopting y'all ideal, like reaching out to y'all to bring y'all, which I got going on to the Carolinas and Atlanta and down south. That is a part of where y'all want to go.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we already have people interested in Cincinnati and then down in New York City. So
that's what's up.
So we're just looking Colorado. We have people all over.
Well, Colorado's pretty far too.
Yeah, they're just they're gonna have to that sponsored bookshelf is gonna go up.
Yeah. So is these now eventually if y'all do reach places like that, is these like things that y'all would want to take trips to just to make sure like like the own location, so y'all know ain't nobody taking what y'all doing and watering it down or something, you know what I'm saying, or not giving it the proper attention like y'all would, because I think that's the toughest thing when you start something like this is when it start to grow. Is trusting other people with, like you said, your brainchild.
Yeah, trying to build a team. Right now, we're just a team of 2.
Right.
So,
it was something that we talked about too, like making the trip out to somewhere to make sure that we set it up nicely and
And like these places, like so, like even like on our podcast, so now it's ran through like streaming site, right? So it's like it show us like we know Syracuse and Ohio, like we know the people that's listening to us.
Yeah.
So it's like now the thing is to get out to these places with some type of merchandise or some
Right.
giveaways and just build on, you know, what's already happening. In New York, not too far. So
Yeah.
do y'all know exactly where? Is these barber shops or people reaching out?
Well, I'm from New York City.
Oh, okay.
But there's like it's more of like a salon, but you know, she does a lot of like hair braiding, and it's like all across gender. So
Right.
this woman just expressed an interest to like have this bookshelf in her space too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually fire. So now the dodgeball tournament. You said where is it being held at? Because you said it's something healthy.
Yes, so we are going to be.
I'm actually a vegan, so I'm all about health and.
We're passing
Come
on healthy
through.
packets, you know. It's an all ages event. It's free. It will be April 23rd from 1 to 3:30. It's at Absolute Health and Wellness. It's on Washington. If anyone is familiar with where like Hotel Lafayette is in downtown Buffalo,
Yeah.
it's right there. It's just been opened by Liz Eric, who is a black owned gym.
Oh, that's what it is. A gym.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So we're partnering with them. We'll be doing healthy packs, healthy snacks, and every child will get a free book. And the books are all sports themed, so and across all age levels. So
I like how y'all sticking to like what y'all. Yeah.
And I have a degree in PR. I'm all about the events. I'm all about the events.
Public relations is big in any world.
Exactly.
Right. So you went to school for that too?
Yes, so I went my whole spiel. So I have a bachelor's in public communications from Buffalo State.
Okay.
And then I also have a master's degree in executive leadership and change with specializations in nonprofit leadership and in business. Then after that, I decided I wanted to go into education. So I have a master's in childhood education as well.
All right, now I'm not supposed to ask you how old you is, but you sound like you accomplished a lot. So like how
What would be your guess?
I would say about 26.
Oh, I'm older than I have a 12-year-old, well, a soon-to-be 12-year-old. I'm 30, not too much older, but
Oh,
yes,
okay.
I am 30.
Yeah.
Okay, and you?
28.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Y'all don't look y'all age. I'm 37 personally. I mean, a lot of people tell me I look 28, so I love to hear younger ages.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, that's congrats on everything you.
Thank you.
Yeah, right. Now let's get your
I know,
stuff.
I was just saying,
Right.
let's not forget her.
Yeah.
She has credentials too.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let's run them down for the people. The people need to know.
I have a bachelor's in secondary education with a concentration in English, and I just graduated with my master's in information and library sciences.
Wow, that's a thing.
Yeah.
That should sound crazy. Like
It's a
when you
thing.
say it like that.
Mhm.
Right. A lot of things you say, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It sounds really nice on paper.
Yeah, right. And when you show them that paper,
Yeah.
it means even more.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So how long was your schooling?
It took me like 2 years total to get it done.
Right.
Yeah.
So now you had to do that in order to become a librarian.
So if you want to be a librarian, yeah, you need a master's degree.
Oh, wow. I would have never thought that. I thought it was like maybe something you could just.
Yeah, no, that's New York State.
No,
Yeah.
it's
Right.
a very rigorous
Yeah,
field.
I underestimated that title for my whole life until I actually met a librarian, I guess. All right, how about writing your own books? Have y'all ever think about it? Because to have the passion, and now that I know the background is there, like
I mean, maybe one day. I'm
Maybe
not.
we'll co-write a children's book together.
that's what I mean, right?
Okay.
Got some ideas.
Yeah,
coming.
to
All
just
right.
already-
Stay tuned.
Right.
To just don't go right in with everything y'all got. It seems like everything for y'all is just like rolling like a snowball going downhill.
Yeah.
And it's like it don't seem like y'all forcing anything. Y'all just kind of taking what come with it.
Yeah, well, that's a great idea. We'll dedicate the book to you.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. We need to write about who I was as a little boy.
Yes.
Right, stay out the streets, you little. I almost called him so. I was supposed to. So how did Spectrum? How did all that happen? Was it from y'all being out there like actively, and then they seen y'all, or was it word of mouth, or do y'all have a clue how that happened?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I did an interview with Buffalo Rising
Okay.
when it first we were first starting talking about it. Maybe I think it might have been February, towards the beginning of February. I did that, and I think that kind of reached out to some of the news field. So
because I heard that's actually like a big paper to be in, kind of. It's like as far as businesses and what you got going
and
on.
especially local in Buffalo,
Right.
people read it, and it was a wonderful article. I was shocked because it was over the phone, and halfway through the conversation, I was like, "Oh wait, this is the actual interview." I didn't realize, but he wrote it very well.
Oh, I thought you was just warming up.
I go, we were just like
Yeah.
we were just chatting, giving the idea. So that came out in the beginning of February, and then Channel 7 did a interview with us, and they launched the interview when we launched on March 2nd.
So that was the second. I must have seen it.
You saw Spectrum. Which
Oh yeah, I
was
did
afterwards.
see Spectrum, right? Yeah. I saw
So
Spectrum.
Channel 7, I think Spectrum just has a farther reach. I think it's because no one really watches the news, I think. So Channel 7, we didn't get a lot of people saying, "Oh, I saw you on Channel 7," but once Spectrum came out, everyone's like, "Oh, I saw you on the news.
As soon as you turn your TV on, it was like the first thing that pop on is Spectrum News.
Yeah.
That's when I turned on the TV and I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah, and Spectrum, shout out to Spectrum. They play their
Right. They play the story over and over again, so that.
So they kept running it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it ran all morning from, I don't know what time Spectrum starts, but until noon.
Oh, okay, yeah. So about 6 in the morning, basically.
Yeah.
And every hour they just repeat.
Yeah.
So y'all ran for 6 hours, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she reached out to us and she followed us as we set up the barbershop. So it was a really nice experience.
All right, because they were showing like, I thought it was just like, because I know about the behind the scenes things.
Oh, yeah, no,
Did you
no,
have to
that
do
was
like
it.
extra takes and stuff, or was it just
I think
kinda-
I think I walked across the street like 4 times.
Yeah.
That's the part people don't understand.
Yeah, they don't get that.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand. I was like, "Oh, I'm an influencer now." But that was what they filmed was us actually launching that first day.
Oh, okay.
So that wasn't staged. That was us actually going through it. She met us there and followed us along.
Oh, and just kind of like film what y'all was doing and then
Yes.
edit it down themselves.
Correct.
All right, so after doing interviews, did everything come out perfect? Because I know sometimes people try to reword their things into their own way of saying it after talking to you. So, no?
I think we were happy with
Yeah.
everything was pretty spot on. There wasn't a lot of cuts and edits. What we said is what was brought out.
Right. So the logo is the three boys.
Mhm.
Yes.
Where that come from? Was it?
We hired a designer,
Mm-hmm.
but we had some inspiration.
Yeah. So I said, y'all had like a blueprint for him, or y'all just say like, "Yo, go ahead."
I think before, when I was starting to look into things, I came across this image, and it was an piece of art where they had these different boys, and they had like flowers growing out of their heads, and I was like, "This is beautiful," and so I saved it. And then when we were looking for an idea for the logo, I sent it over to her, and I was like, "Well, but I don't want, instead of flowers, like let's do something that has to do with literacy, because this is a literacy-based thing."
Right.
And this thing about the imagination that where can you go when you're reading a book? So we have a spaceship that comes from one of their heads. There's another one where I think there's a boy on the moon, and then there's the water theme. And so what's nice is when we sent that logo over to Left-Handed Bandit to do our...
Also, the same person that painted the bookshelves did the artwork.
No.
Oh, okay.
So we sent the logo over to him, and I was like, "You have complete freedom, but I would love for it to be based around this logo." And so our first 3 bookshelves, there's one that is space themed, and one that has a rocket ship on it, and one has a boat, and they're beautiful.
They are stunning. Yeah.
So he took y'all idea and then incorporated it into his painting on the bookshelves.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And you, how many active bookshelves right now?
3.
3. Where can they be found?
Right now we have one at Tyson Cuts, which is on Carolina. It's like on the west side of Buffalo.
Okay.
We have one at the Standard Lounge, which is on Allen. And then one at SM 79 Barber Co., which is on Hurdle.
Oh, okay.
So we hit North Buffalo, downtownish area, and the west side already.
What is the big barbershop out there? Is it Signature Cuts?
Yeah, we're trying to get in there.
Yeah.
No? What happened? No,
We
y'all tried or?
We just haven't gotten there yet.
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Y'all gonna get in there.
Yeah.
Oh, we will.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what type of person to turn it down. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like-
Kenny can't.
The name drop.
Right. Oh,
Right,
see?
Kenny, we hear it.
Right.
Call us.
We're talking about plugs and everything.
Right.
You know, like everybody connected. Kenny. Gotta get it together, Kenny. No, because I know that's probably would be like effective.
Yeah.
So after being on TV and being in the Buffalo Rising, like what was the feedback y'all got?
All positive feedback.
Yeah.
It felt so great. I mean, our community locally in Buffalo and like our scope, I mean, we had people reaching out to us, like she was saying, from other states. So
Right.
it's nothing but love and support, and we're just so excited to see where this takes us.
Right, especially to be so fresh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Starting.
Yeah, we were talking about it. I was surprised at how quickly it blew up. Because for us to, I mean, we're only a month in, really, and we've already secured interviews and
We got a mini grant from the Just Buffalo Literacy Center.
Yeah.
so it's rolling. And we're here for the ride.
Yeah.
Right. So